The person you are often the hardest on is yourself. We all know how to say, "I forgive you" to a friend who made a mistake. But when it comes to our own failures, our own regrets, those two little words, "I forgive you," can feel almost impossible to say to the person in the mirror. So why is it so hard to forgive ourselves? It's a question that touches on psychology, emotion, and even how our brains are wired. Let's break it down. The first reason is something called the hindsight bias. This is a fancy term for a very simple idea. We judge our past selves with information we didn't have at the time. Imagine you're driving and you take a wrong turn and get lost. Looking back, it seems so obvious you should have turned left. But at that moment, the signs were confusing, it was dark, and you were nervous. You made the best decision with the information you had. When we refuse to forgive ourselves, we are essentially looking at our past mistakes under a perfect, bright light, while forgetting that our past self was stumbling around in the dark. The second reason is that we confuse forgiveness with excusing. Our brains think, if I forgive myself for this mistake, it means what I did was okay. And if what we did hurt someone else, or hurt ourselves, we feel like it cannot possibly be okay. We feel we need to hold on to the guilt as proof that we know we did wrong. We think the guilt is a punishment we deserve. But here's the truth. Forgiveness is not saying, what I did was fine. Forgiveness is saying, what I did was wrong, but I am not going to let that mistake define my entire future. A third major roadblock is the voice of the inner perfectionist. We live in a world, especially on social media, where everyone seems to have their lives perfectly together. When we inevitably fall short of that impossible standard, we treat ourselves with a cruelty we would never show a friend. If your best friend came to you crying over a mistake, would you shout at them? Would you call them a failure? Of course not. You would hug them and tell them they are human. But when it comes to ourselves, we often become our own worst bully instead of our own best friend. So how do we actually start to practice self-forgiveness? It's a skill, and like any skill, it takes practice. It starts with separating your action from your identity. You are not a bad person because you did a bad thing. You are a human being who made a choice you regret. That is a crucial difference. Next, you have to acknowledge the pain, both yours and anyone else's. If your mistake hurt someone, you need to sit with that feeling. Apologize if you can. Make amends if possible. This is called repair. It shows your brain that you are taking responsibility, which makes it safer to let go of the guilt. Finally, you have to practice self-compassion. This means talking to yourself the way you would talk to someone you love. When that harsh inner voice pops up, ask yourself, would I say this to my best friend? Would I say this to a child? If the answer is no, then you need to change the channel. Forgiving yourself doesn't mean forgetting what happened. It means remembering the lesson without carrying the weight of the shame. The great writer C.S. Lewis once said, "I think that if God forgives us, we must forgive ourselves. Otherwise, it is almost like setting up ourselves as a higher tribunal than Him." Holding on to guilt doesn't change the past. It only steals the joy from your present and the hope from your future. You are not perfect. You will make mistakes. But you are also worthy of the same grace and kindness you so freely give to others. Be kind to yourself. You're doing the best you can. Thanks for watching. If this video helped you, please share it with someone who might need to hear it today.